Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another third-party unlicensed 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review. Today we're taking a look at the Present Toys Future Warrior, aka Arnie's T-800, based off his appearance at the end of T2. Now I got mine as a review sample from Present Toys, organised by 1/6 Kit. I have popped a link to Kit's site in the description below for your reference purposes only. This is by no means a promotional video, this is a review. As always, all opinions are 100% my own. If you are heading down to the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, so you're notified as soon as a brand new Terminator figure review goes live on the channel. In typical Present Toys fashion, we've got a nice compact little box. It's not overly tiny, still it's nowhere near as big as a Hot Toys box, so it's not going to take up a ton of room in storage. Up front we've got his name and then his third-party name, some techie stuff on either side of this piece of artwork, and smack bang in the middle, the iconic end of T2 thumbs up with an endoskeleton hand almost coming out of it or merging into it. I really like this piece of artwork. On the side of the box, nothing really, just some techie stuff and a Present Toys logo in between two arrows that makes this look as though it could be an elevator door perhaps. They clearly had fun with the artwork, adding some Phillips head screws around the perimeter of the back of the box. And in the middle, warnings and legal information. I was not expecting more artwork underneath the slipcover, but here we are. We've got an image of the endoskeleton's skull side profile, as well as all of the names and stuff at the bottom. Not quite sure about that quote, Present Toys. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be, "I'll be back." Nevertheless, I appreciate the effort they went to with the artwork. There is a lot to look at on this box. Their last attempt at a T-800 wasn't fantastic. I can already tell that they've listened to the feedback, and this is a marked improvement over the previous one. First in-hand impressions for him? So far so good. This figure is heavy, man, and I'm loving the battle damage. What we're going to do now, though, is get all of his accessories laid out in the light box and take a closer look at everything he comes with. Starting off with the display base first. Unfortunately, Present Toys is still using the old Entebbe quarter scale base mold. And the question is, why? This base is far too big for a 1/6 scale figure, especially when the crotch grabber is all the way at the back. Terminator stands like right around here, so all of this is just wasted space. Up on top, this is a print, not sculpted and painted. This is a real metal nameplate though, with T-800 on the front, and for the crotch grabber, you can adjust it up and down. Just like the DX13, he comes with a battle-damaged severed forearm, and a jacket with the sleeve completely torn off. We'll try out both of these pieces on him a little bit later. This is the exact same minigun that we got with their clean version of the T-800. I like the sculpt and the functionality because you can rotate the barrels at the front and there's some proper wires around the back that you can adjust. But I don't dig the paint. It's just cast in gunmetal plastic. There's no dry brushing on the surface. This doesn't come across realistic, in my opinion. The bullet belt does have some dry brushing on it, but it's a flat piece of rubber. There's no wire on the inside, so it literally just hangs there flat. It's quite hard to work with when it comes to posing. You could maybe heat it up, shape it, and then when it cools down, it might set in that position. I've never tried it, so I don't know. He does come with his silver and black handgun. The slide does actuate forward and back. You can even move the hammer if you so choose. The magazine is removable, and there's some painted bullet detail up on top. But no washers and no dry brushing. If there was one accessory, or one set of accessories, I guess we could call them, that is better with the Present Toys figure as compared to the DX13, it has to be these grenades, because every single one of them is made of real die-cast metal. They're shiny, there's a brushed finish on the surface, and they've added in all the accurate line work. This bandolier has some significant weight to it. So when you put this on Arnie's body, it should drape quite naturally. They've even gone so far as to add some bullet holes around the back of it. Okay, now I understand. This is where all of the silver dry brushing went. And the grenade launcher looks so much better because of it. The silver dry brushing just makes it look way more realistic. There's a wood grain, almost brushed texture on the stock and this piece underneath the barrel, but they forgot to paint the butt part black for some unknown reason. You can move the sight up and down, and you can open up the grenade launcher and install one of the metal grenades inside. Because the barrel isn't hollow, it's not going to fall straight out the bottom. And it's a loose enough fit that it's not going to get stuck in there, so don't worry, you can pop one in the grenade launcher, it's not going to be in there forever. I can't imagine a world where these hands aren't just recasts of the Hot Toys ones. If you're a third party company doing some naughty shit by making an unlicensed figure anyway, yeah, you may as well just copy the hands while you're at it. They are made of a softer rubbery plastic, so popping weapons in them or installing them on the wrist pegs should be quite easy. So those were the trigger finger hands. We do get a thumbs up hand for the right side and a closed fist for the left. And then pre-installed on the body, right out of the box, 2 open palm hands. What we're going to do now is get the battle damaged T-800 himself out here. Standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses or accessories or anything like that. How they went from that letdown of a figure with the clean T-800 to this in such a short period of time shows that they're getting better. When Present Toys first started dropping figures, they were regarded as lesser than the other third-party companies. Slowly but surely, they've been improving, and now I actually see them as one of the strongest, at least in my opinion. They still have a ways to go, and there's always room for improvement, but they're on the right trajectory. This figure is a beast. Solid proportions, a decent head sculpt, and I love the outfit. If you missed out on DX13 or you just want another battle damaged T-800, chances are you're going to be pretty happy with this. Up close and personal, kicking things off with his head sculpt. This is so much better than what they gave us last time. That head sculpt was an unmitigated disaster. This is far from it. And the best part about it is it's not a recast of the Hot Toys sculpt. Some third-party companies get lazy and do that. Not Present Toys, it seems. They've given us an all-new sculpt. From this angle, the Arnie likeness is extremely strong. From the other, maybe not so much because most of his face is gone, exposing the endoskeleton skull underneath. The paint apps for the blood look wet and glossy. The eye looks quite realistic. There's also some dirt and grime on the surface, a 5 o'clock shadow, and well-painted skin texture that's also been sculpted on there so you can feel it as you run your finger across the head sculpt. And the neck does match the head sculpt pretty well. You can adjust the head sculpt up and down because it's almost free floating on the neck connector. So if you find out of the box it's sitting too low and that it's throwing off proportions, just pull it up a little and that may fix it. There is some extra battle damage around the back. I would have liked some chrome paint apps for the endoskeleton skull, seeing as though endos are chrome. I'm not going to complain. The way they've done it with the wash over the top and then the blood and almost a little bit of a speckling of rust work, yeah, I think it looks great. There is a light up effect technically. I tried to use the batteries they gave me in the box and they were the wrong size. They wouldn't fit in the battery compartment. I attempted to install some Hot Toys Iron Man ones. They didn't fit either, so as of now, I've not tried the light up effect. I don't know if it works or not, and I don't know how good it looks. If you're curious about compatibility with the Hot Toys sculpt, maybe you could get this on there if you can figure out a way to remove this light up core section. I've tried, but it simply doesn't want to come out of the neck connector. The entire thing just ends up popping out of the body. Would look something like this. The skin tone match is close enough that I reckon this is displayable. Seeing as though DX13 does come with two head sculpts, it might not be a bad idea to pick up this Present Toys Arnie and then use the spare Hot Toys sculpt on this body. Unfortunately, DX13 did miss out on the genuine leather outfit that the DX10 had. They'd literally just given us a Terminator with real leather, and then they walked back on that and went back to pleather. The number one question I had about this guy was, is this outfit real leather or the fake stuff? The results of my smell test are inconclusive at best. It's got a leathery smell to it, but there's no real way of knowing. Present Toys themselves didn't disclose if this outfit is made of the genuine stuff or pleather. I'm going to say that it's likely pleather due to the paint and battle damage on the surface. We've got straight up holes and gashes through the jacket, and don't forget we've got a swap out jacket to try out a little bit later. The zippers are all functional, but I don't think they're meant to be moved around too much. There is some black paint over the top, so if you did zip and unzip these a bunch of times, you would eventually wear away that paint. I don't know about y'all, I almost prefer a battle damage Terminator over and above a clean one because there's just so much more to look at here. We've got the chest that's been blasted away. There's plenty of skin tone and skin texture and even abs tucked underneath the shirt. The blood is wet and glossy looking, and I know I've already said that about the blood on the head sculpt, but it's the endoskeleton parts being as shiny as they are that really sell this to me. The shirt curls over itself around the frayed edges, and that makes it look like the shirt has just been freshly blasted by like a shotgun or something. If your outfit on DX13 is deteriorating, this would make a very solid donor figure. You could grab the pants or the belt. I know the belts usually go first. Then you could pop them on your DX13 and upgrade your Hot Toys one with some hopefully more durable parts and pieces. The belt buckle is made of real metal, and the two lines across the top are there. They're more subtle than what's printed on the Hot Toys belt, but at least they're present. You get it? Present Toys, I'm so sorry. The pants do hug the legs, except for down here on the left side where the knee is exposed. The flesh is all sinewy, and there's some skin texture above and below where the endoskeleton knee is exposed. This is a proper functional joint, by the way. It's not just a solid sculpted piece of plastic. Coming down to the boots, being mindful of the paint on the zippers, you can undo this part of the trousers, and then the boots will move a touch more freely. There's some leather grain texture on the surface. They're a single piece sculpt, not a split cut boot design, which is unfortunate, seeing as though you'd normally not even see the entire boot anyway. There's a silver painted buckle with some sculpted tread on the underside. If you're curious what he looks like with the swap out exposed endoskeleton arm on, I am as well, so we may as well give that a go. This is more like it. Now he's properly battle damaged. I'm always going to rock him like this. It just makes sense to me. He's a battle damaged Terminator. He should have his tattered sleeve jacket and battle damaged forearm on. I thought for sure the standard forearm was going to fight me and give me all kinds of grief trying to remove it from the body. It was surprisingly easy. You literally just pull the standard one back, it pops off the joint, then you can plug this one on. All of these hoses and cables are made of a rubbery plastic, so even if you put some pressure on them while you're plugging this onto the joint, I don't think you have anything to worry about when it comes to breakage. One little thing that I want to point out before we move on is the fact that they've stitched the belt around the base of the jacket over itself so it looks like it's just hanging there and draping naturally. That's something that Hot Toys did with the DX13, but they didn't do with the DX10 and the previous MMS version of T2 Arnie. So I am glad that Present Toys copied them and did this for their Terminator. Absolutely not a display option. The only reason why I'm showing him to you like this is because I wanted to switch out the forearm back to the standard one on camera. I do like that they've painted the skin texture and sculpted it on the arms even though you're never really going to see it. Probably because it is visible through the holes on the jacket, I would assume. So, like I said before, you pull the forearm back and it pops off. Then you can grab the standard one and connect it up to the joint, and now it's in place. Quite straightforward to do. And now we're back to stock. This is how I received him in the box. The only thing that I'm not 100% sold on is the green weathering on the jacket and the pants. I'm not sure why they went with green. They could have gone with brown or grey even, but green is the colour they went with. For a quick side-by-side comparison, on the left, present toys, and on the right, hot toys. It's pretty obvious, isn't it, that the DX13 is the superior T-800. However, if you don't have the DX13 and you've got no plans on getting him anytime in the future, you could do a hell of a lot worse than what present toys have given us. He is ever so slightly shorter than the official. Don't forget, you could just boost his head sculpt up on the neck connector and then give him a touch more height so he'd be the same size as the official DX13. Going over articulation, starting off with his head sculpt. It is on a rubbery neck with a ball joint inside of it, and there's another ball joint underneath the head itself. Looking forward to there, looking up to there, more range than I expected, swivel and pivot side to side. His arms will go up to there, going forward and back on soft ratchets. There's a butterfly joint at the shoulder that hinges up and down. Swivel at the bicep, double bend at the elbow going past 90, and then for the wrist peg, it's a hinge and swivel. Because of all this battle damage on the torso, it is one fixed solid piece. There's no joint at the midsection. So all of the movement comes from the waist joint. Crunching forward to there, going back to there, swivel, and pivot side to side. His legs move differently because for the left side, there's this huge gaping hole around the front. The right leg goes forward to there, the left way further, going out to there, swivel at the upper thigh. Single bend at the knee for the left, and for the right, a double bend going past 90. For the ankles, he does have double ball pegs inside the sculpted plastic high-top boots, but they're not a split-cut boot design, so going forward and back, swivel, and a teeny amount of ankle pivot. Wrapping up on present toys, Battle Damage Terminator. If you've always wanted the DX13 but just can't justify spending big on him now that he's long since sold out, this is a solid stand-in. He ain't perfect, but he also ain't all bad. You don't get everything the DX13 came with. The accessories included are just comprehensive enough that they get away with it. You could always grab a specific DX13 accessory off eBay if you wanted it that badly. So he's dope if you don't have the DX13. But what if you do? Does he play nice next to Hot Toys figures, or will he bring down the overall cool factor of the entire display? He's going to slot right in, and if you work on it, you could probably use your spare Hot Toys DX13 head sculpt on him. The best part about having essentially another DX13 is that you now have spare parts as well. Like, for example, the belt on my DX13, it's completely fragged, so I could grab it off this guy, pop it on the Hot Toys release, and call it a day. Then I would be left with a beltless figure, of course, but you know what I mean, you know what I'm trying to say. He could be a donor figure if that's what you're after. At the end of this, I'm extremely impressed with how this figure turned out, and I cannot wait to get their T-1000. Now, I got mine as a review sample from Present Toys, organized by 1/6 Kit. I have popped a link to Kit's site in the description below for your reference purposes only. This is by no means a promotional video, this is a review. As always, all opinions have been 100% my own. If you are heading down to the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video.